Hello YouTube, Message and Bother here with another video. Now in this video I kind of decided to make some clarity because in my last video it did sound like I have a personal vendetta against my ex. In reality it's not. It just there was some reality that was hard for me to swallow, and a lot of people they will think that way. They will think that I truly have like a revenge or grudge against my ex. In some part of me I'll say it is true, but I'm completely over with it. The thing that I cannot understand, and this is what I have a hard time swallowing the pill, swallowing the truth basically, and it's a life lesson that I learned the hard way, is that sometimes us men, when we get desperate, we also lose respect for ourselves and the time in terms of, well, we lose our respect to ourselves, the time that we invested, and you could say other investments in terms of, you know, putting it towards a woman in hopes that that woman could love us back, genuinely speaking, and being honest with us. But the thing is that it doesn't work that way, and that's why a lot of MGTOW, red pillars, black pill, you name it, they're all popping up talking about this sort of stuff. And at first glance, people would think that these people, they're basically woman haters or misogynists or, etc., etc., like all that name calling. But when in reality, a lot of people, when they make those mistakes, they quickly realize that these mistakes are very, how do I say this? To give you guys an analogy, it's like a deep wound that it's going to be very difficult to heal properly. And when it does heal, it leaves scars, it leaves emotional scars behind. And because of that, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to get hurt. Nobody wants to get burned severely, especially with a third degree burn. Which, by the way, third degree burn, yeah, it's not. You're not gonna like recover from that fully. It's gonna leave nasty scars behind, and yeah, people will notice it, and you will be reminded about those things. So that's why I made those videos as a cautionary tale. Be careful who you invest in, because as a man, I had to acknowledge that not all women likes me back, especially if I like them. And I hope you guys understand. It's like that same concept where not everyone is gonna like you, and that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly okay. What matters is you surround yourself that people are willing to help you, that likes you, and vice versa. In other words, looking for those mutual relationship or symbiotic relationship, if that makes any sense. Like in the animal kingdom. In the animal kingdom, there are some animals that help each other. They do not attack each other. They do not, do anything like a parasite does. They genuinely help each other and improve each other's survivability. In the animal kingdom, if you guys watch a lot of animal shows, those relationships truly do exist. And same thing in real life when it comes to human on human interaction. You gotta look for another human that genuinely likes you and willing to help you out, and vice versa, that you like them back and you want to help them back. So, yeah, and I think the saddest part is that because there's a lot of men that are kind of desperate in terms of getting laid, in terms of getting into a relationship, getting a girlfriend, wife, etc., etc. Those desperation makes them easy prey for a woman who truly does not like them back or find them attractive back, but those men has like certain status or benefits for them. They're vulnerable to get, in a bad relationship. And what I hate about current age of society is that a lot of people, they will be one-sided towards the women and of course one-sided towards the man. And in my opinion, this is straight up dangerous because supposedly we're preaching about don't judge a person by its cover, judge a person by its character. And if we were to go by that logic, then, we're supposed to make it 50-50 between men and women. And as I stated throughout my video, my YouTube channel, I constantly keep saying that it's never about man versus woman, it's about man and women. In other words, man and woman trying to be partners, trying to help each other out, because that's how families are formed, that's how society, communities are formed. This whole notion of man versus woman is straight up stupid, straight up retarded. But for some reason, that's happening today. And I have a gut feeling whoever, or should I say, whatever the group that invented that narrative, they're not only evil, but they're winning. And it's kind of scary to think about that. Now, that being said, the reason why I made these two videos, especially the video of me saying that I respect these type of women, is because here in this screenshot from my recent videos that I upload lately of me respecting this type of woman. As I stated, guys, I don't hate women. I wish the best for them. I love women. As a man, I want to get into a relationship with a beautiful woman. But as an individual, I had to understand that not everyone's gonna like me, and that's totally fine. That being said, I'm not immortal, and I only have one life, um, one life run, if that makes any sense. And obviously, I want to have a good time before, my time has come. Because, once again, one life and one experience. And the reason why I made this video is because these type of women, they will respect your time. And me realizing this concept, this understanding, is super, super valuable. Now, I totally get it why a lot of religious people who has morals, don't view this um, admirable. It's, like, I totally get it. It's because we're encouraging casual sex, promiscuity. I can't say it. We can't we can't really encourage this because it's counterintuitive towards building a family. But the reason why I respect these type of women more and more is because these type of women, they will respect your time and they'll give you a fun time and you guys will have good memories with them. That being said, this is vice versa with women who are promiscuous, but they claim that they're, moral, like they're good moral women. And for some reason, there are more of these type of women out there than, these honest women out there, if that makes any sense. And because of that, it will make a lot of men out there very, very frustrated and very angry. And me personally, I had a bad experience of that because my ex, and this is the whole reason why I talk about my ex, is because she gave me that bad experience. I did have a good time with her, but there were moments where I felt like she was straight up lying to me. She made up her appearance of being, a morally good woman, when in reality, the more I learn about her, the more I understand that she's not that type of woman. And more importantly, she did not respect my time. And she did not respect the time of the other guy who was pursuing her for almost 10 years. I will never forget about that. I will never forget that. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of emotionally scarred about that because she got a guy friend zone for 10 years. That dude, he was straight up desperate for her, and I could tell. Like anyone could tell, honestly, once they see it with their own eyes. And it's very sad that he'd been doing that for 10 years. And I have a gut feeling that guy, he doesn't have that much friends around because those quote unquote friends, they could see that for themselves. And when they see that for themselves, they have huge pity for him and loss of respect for him. That being said, I'll never forget the fact that I broke up with her. And when I did broke up with her, it hurt her ego. And she rebounded with the guy that she friend zoned for 10 years. So now that guy finally got a girlfriend. Hooray! And then 2 years later, she and him broke up. they broke up and they don't see each other again, they don't communicate each other again, etc., etc. And that right there, guys, is what kind of traumatized me. And sadly, this is more common than you guys think. Meanwhile, we have women out there who are willing to sleep around and be honest about it. I repeat, be honest about it. And they're not ashamed of it. They might have some level of shame, but in my opinion, these women who are honest about it, they accept it, if that makes any sense. And the women who don't respect other men's time and they try their best to mask themselves as higher moral women, they don't accept it, and more importantly, they do not respect other people's time, just like how my ex did. That being said, that's why I made that other video about showcasing the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movie. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movie, very good movie, I recommend it. And as I stated throughout my YouTube channel, guys, art is a reflection of our reality, meaning that when you watch a media, when you watch a movie or read a book, sometimes they have reference that happen in real life, such as sexual violence, which this movie is very famous for. And once again, this is a very good movie. I love the story arc, the character development. The main protagonist, she got, well, I can't say it here because of YouTube censorship, but she did suffer sexual violence, and I will showcase the scene right here. I will slow it down for a bit. I cannot explicitly show some stuff, so I had to edit this video out, but there were moments where, yeah, she became a victim of sexual violence, and she screamed, she yelled, she tried her best to resist, etc., etc. But the sequel of this movie, The Girl Who Played with Fire, now this one traumatized me, and there was a scene that reminded me of my ex a lot because the background of this character. Now, before I showcase the scene of the background of this character, I did a little research to look up the actress who volunteered for this scene because, again, I'm kind of traumatized and amazed that they explicitly showcase this type of scene because it was super realistic. I don't know why the creator of this movie did it. I guess he tried to make a shock scene similar to how the first movie shock scene was, because the first movie shock scene, it had value to it in order to make the character, develop her story arc, and it had a very powerful impact. And in my opinion, it was done right, done perfectly. In this movie, the sequel, it had a weaker shock value scene. In matter of fact, it was unnecessary, and I agree with the critics. Like, it was super unnecessary for him to add that. But for some reason, he added it because I have a feeling he was trying to remake that shock scene from the first movie. Because I noticed the second movie's, sexual violence was eerily similar to the first movie. Because what both had in common was both women were beautiful, both women were tied up to the bed, and of course, it was a both women, they suffer from a big, fat, ugly old man that, was having their way with them. The only difference is one was resisting and did not want to become a victim. The other one voluntarily submitted to it. And that right there is why it kind of traumatized me, that scene. But at the same time, it reminded me of my ex because in my last video, I made a statement that my ex, she went out, did one night stand, partying. She had multiple exes. And when I was talking with my ex about, her past and her partying experience, she confessed to me that she did not enjoy the sex stuff with her ex, and she often forced herself to it. And to me, I will never understand why she did that. And more importantly, I'll never understand why she even bothered doing those things in partying, like doing cocaine, doing one night stand. I do not understand that. Nobody is holding her hostage. The only reason why she stopped doing that is because she told me that at the time when she was partnering, there was kidnappings going on, and she got scared, and she decided to stop completely. And because of that, I struggled because at the time I was dating her and I really want the relationship to work, but I struggled. But nobody was forcing her, to do that. Nobody was, you know, trafficking her or prostituting her. None of that. This was purely on her own will. She purely voluntarily for it. Now, that being said, compared to the movie, in the movie, the woman, she was forced to do it, just to be clear. So, but she technically, and I say technically because she was forced, but in the movie, if you pay attention, she voluntarily submit to the sexual violence and let the man have their own way with her, which, as you can see in the scene, and I only could showcase certain parts because the rest I cannot show it due to YouTube censorship. But the reason why I brought this scene up is because it reminded me of my ex so much so, especially the fact that she forced herself or allowed herself to be used up by other men who, they're not gonna stick around for that long. And to me, that makes no sense why she did that. And what makes me upset even more is the fact that she did not respect my time and the guy who she friend zoned for 10 years time. So yeah, there's a lot of girls out there that does this sort of stuff. And what's even sadder is the sexual regret. For some reason, a lot of women that engage in this sort of stuff, they do end up having sexual regrets. And that's something that you cannot, undo. Like once you do it, that's it. The memories, the scars, emotional scars, that stays with you lifelong. So yeah, I really don't understand why girls do this. But this right here, this scenery, yeah, it was super accurately depicted, and this is why I showcased that scene. But yeah, guys, there are women out there, and by the way, I even did a little research about the actress because I was just fascinated about this scene, why they added this scene in the sequel. I guess once again, the creator of this movie, he wanted to remake the shock value scene from the first movie. But anyway, back to the subject, and sorry I'm going all over the place. Basically, what I'm saying is that you you guys who haven't got a girlfriend yet, you guys will be amazed that a lot of women do this sort of stuff. And for those of you who, dated a bunch of girls, got to get to know a bunch of girls, please leave a comment down in the comment section below and please share your story because I have a gut feeling most of you guys who been around with lots of women, you guys will know what I'm talking about. You guys will know the insanity and outright questionable behavior that women do. And what's even sadder is that these women, they act like the victim, but when in reality they voluntarily do this sort of stuff. There weren't nobody holding a gun to their heads, like no one was forcing them to do it, but yet they do this sort of stuff. Well, guys, I hope I ranted enough, but basically what I'm trying to say in this video is to clarify something. That is, I am I don't know how to say this. Best way I could put it is, in this video, what I'm trying to say is, I am starting to respect more and more women who are being honest with themselves and with the man that they interact. And more importantly, women who respect the man's time over women who are trying to put up a facade and not respecting other men's time. Because again, you will know the difference. You will know it. Well, guys, I'm gonna end it here, and sorry for me going all over the place, but I hope you understand what I'm saying. Message in the bottle, over and out.